Hey all, Peyton Marine here with another status report coming to you a little bit earlier than the end of the month, like I normally try to. But mainly that's just because I'm still away from my home of residence because of work, but I'll be leaving to go back tomorrow. And when I get back, I'm going to be very busy with just family work and all that, so I probably won't have enough time really at the end of the month to get to my status report like I would like to. So I thought I would do a little bit earlier and just kind of update on things. So, what's been going on? What's happening? Well, first of all, I don't remember how in detail I went before with it, but a special project, side project that I was hoping to do and have ready for Nova is actually back on the table. Uh, Things are moving forward as far as it goes. However, it's not a for certain thing right now. I'm working with a few other people to try to make this happen. One aspect is definitely happening, but really the main aspect of it, the person I'm trying to work with is they're kind of on the fence about it because they don't have a lot of experience with it. They have experience in the field without going too much detail with what I'm trying to do, but not quite particularly what I'm trying to do. But I'm still trying to work with them and see what we can figure out with that. So I hope it works out and it goes forward because I definitely want to. Present this special project that I've had in mind for a very long time at Nova. If it doesn't happen now at Nova, it'll definitely happen later, as I'll at least have, I'd say there's three main parts to it, and I'll have two of those parts for sure, and the main third part, if it doesn't happen for Nova, we'll definitely be working toward it. So hopefully I can go to another event and showcase it then. But like I said, unfortunately for now, that's about as much as I'm going to go into it. Hopefully, as things progress and things go along, it'll happen. But there is a little bit of a time crunch because we're coming up to the end of May. Granted, it's not till the end of August, but there's just some time that has to be done. Plus, work, family, rest of life happens too. So it still might not happen. But right now, I'm pushing forward with it and hoping that it does happen. And as such, I pretty much am diverting most, if not all, of my hobby funds really toward this, which essentially isn't necessarily all that bad, just because I pretty much have everything that I need as of right now, hobby-wise. I mean, of course, Necromunda stuff came out, and I picked up some Von Saar, but unfortunately, I don't know how soon I'm going to get to painting those and playing Necromunda, because I still have to get the main box set. And then Forge World has previewed the new Necromunda Von Saar upgrades, so I don't know when those will come out, but again, so then that means I'll want to get more Von Saar and all that, and then I kind of want to do a test conversion with a squad of Von Saar and some third-party bits to do the Elysium drop troop idea that I had, because I really honestly I think it'd be a pretty awesome army to do that way. But again, that's a lot of time and money, and both seem to always be running in short supply, it seems. But anyway, so we'll see how that goes. But as of right now, like I said, I'm trying to push forward on all of that. Deathwatch Codex came out, so I'll be doing a out of the box review of that once I get back, because I got the collector's edition codex for that, because Deathwatch is another one on that. It's like Dark Angels, pretty much Space Marines, but really Dark Angels, Space Marines, specifically Salamanders, and the Deathwatch are the ones that if they have a collectible something, I'm definitely gonna grab a hold of that. But anyway, so I got that. That's actually at the house, so when I get back, I'll make that video. And plus, Primaris, Deathwatch are pretty awesome, pretty wicked. So I definitely am probably going to have to do a mixed squad of Deathwatch Primaris to attach onto my Star Commanders from time to time. I've already kind of got a list of chapters that I want to do for them. Those being Carcharodons, because of course I have my Carcharodon army and they're awesome. Dark Angels, Salamanders, of course, Minotaurs, Red Scorpions, and of course my Star Commanders. And I'm also going to do one for Brand's Great Company, as I had mentioned Brand, who was a 12-year-old in the UK that had lost the fight to cancer. He has his own little rune symbol, so that'll be on that Space Marine for the Death Watch. So those are the chapters I have right now, kind of in my head. And right now I'm thinking Kakardon will be probably the Reaver, because the feared troop type of thing that seems to be in their wheelhouse. Salamander, I'm thinking Flamer Aggressor, because that's fluffy. Minotaur doing the Incessor with the heavy auto, or what are the heavy bolt pistols or something like that, or assault bolt pistol, heavy assault bolt pistols or whatever they're called, because Minotaurs are all about kind of like firepower. They're kind of like Iron Warriors in that aspect, or even you could say kind of Imperial Fist. Not so much with the fortifications and stuff like that. I guess Imperial Fists are coming out, but more with just the firepower that they put out. Like, I know they had chapter tactics or stratagem or something like bolter drills and stuff like that. So that's kind of how I picture Minotaurs, are kind of like a Imperial Fist, Iron Warriors hybrid or whatever. So I thought that was kind of fluffy for them to have Intercessor for the Minotaur, or not Intercessor, Inceptor. And then Star Commander and Dark Angel, Hellblaster, because plasma, has to be. And then Star Commander and the Brands, Great Company, and what was the other one I had? Oh, the Red Scorpion, and then there was one more. I was pretty sure there's one more, but those at least for now are kind of just regular Intercessors. But yeah, so I think that'll be kind of a fun little side project. But again, got Nova coming up, so I need to focus on that. Speaking of that, I have almost finished my my recon squad that I did up, which I took the Intercessor torsos, combined them with the Reaver's legs, and then I added longer barrels to the bolt rifle, as well as a bipod. And then I took the heavy plasma cable that was left over from the plasma eviscerators from the Hellblasters that I had, and then I took the some leftover assault plasma incinerator scope things that they have, and put those on there to make kind of basically a new kind of bolt rifle, really, for it. And so essentially my idea was like I could proxy these guys as scouts, or just like intercessors with heavy stalkers, or not heavy stalker, are they heavy, well anyway, stalker bolt rifles, or whatever. But in my own mind, in my own fluff, they're a new squad that's been introduced to the Primaris, at least to my Star Commanders have, and it's kind of torn between elite or fast. I'm kind of leaning more toward they're more like an elite than a fast attack choice. But yeah, so leaning more toward the elite. So basically, they kind of have like the same kind of special rules as scouts as far as like camo cloaks and stuff like that go. And then their bolt rifles are actually sniper rifle type bolt rifles. So basically they can like target characters with them, like the scout snipers, and then everything else is they still have a 3-up save and 2 wounds, and everything else the same as Primaris normally have. But yeah, so I'm very excited and happy the way they turned out. And I also went a darker color with them just to make them more stealthy than my white with the rest of my intercessors, with the rest of my Star Commanders. I kept the the rifles, everything kind of the same colors and stuff like that, but I went Chaos Black for the base, for the spray, and then I did a very light Dark Angels Caliban green over it, and then again another very, very light black, and then washed it all in Nuln Oil, and then so it's a very kind of greenish black, and then all the trim I did in Dark Angels, or was it Caliban green, and then edge highlighted with Warpstone, so it kind of matches the rest of the army still in a way, to bring that in. And then I did their cloaks in like a dark purple and a gray. So here is one of them. If I can get to focus in on there. So yeah, and then this one in particular has a grenade launcher on him as well as the grenade slinged across his chest. And it keeps wanting to focus in on me. I'll kind of get out of the way a little bit. Yeah. So yeah, I think it turned out quite well. The cloaks were green stuff. They turned out not too bad, I guess. Yeah, I wish it would have been a little bit better, but it is what it is. Here's another one, kind of posed him like he's actually like popping off his grenade. Yeah. And then here's another one. So I'll be using these in Nova for the recon patrol portion. And so this guy in particular is one of my specialists. He's the forward observer. That's why he's got a servo skull. He's looking at like his little wrist thing. He's got an Auspex scanner there on his belt. He's all ready to go. Plus he has a little bit bigger scope on his. So he's definitely ready to go. So yeah, very excited about these guys. This guy was a really cool one too that I did. I gave him kind of the Cypher treatment. Gave him the 2 pistols, even though like rule wise they're nothing, but rule of cool type of a thing. So and then I added the kind of the whatever binocular, whatever you want to call them, night vision, I don't know, goggles or whatever on the top from the actual scout kit, and then kind of green stuff the side on there to make them kind of fit him better. So yeah, he's a pretty cool guy. So yeah, I'm pretty happy with the way they turned out so far. Like I said, I still have some more things to do with them. Some edge highlights, some highlights on the cloaks. And then I didn't bring my smaller dry brush so I could finish the bases and get those done. So that'll be something I'll have to work on when I get back. But they're otherwise pretty much done, which I'm very happy with the way they turned out. Again, I don't know how they'll do. Most of the stuff I'm taking to Nova is more. I'm not playing in the Grand Tournament, so I'm just playing really for fun. Even if I was in the Grand Tournament, it'd still be for fun. I don't really try to play super competitively anyway, so like my chances of me like coming out on top, because I always want to play fluffy or fun. So we'll see how that goes. I still haven't locked down on my list. I kind of have a 1,000-point list I kind of like that I think I'll probably run with. And then I don't know at 1250 quite yet. At most I'll probably switch a few things, maybe take something out so I can bring a repulsor, because right now my 1,000-point list has no vehicles. Really, it's all foot slogging, but it's on a 4x4 board, so I thought that wouldn't be so bad. Plus with Primaris, you have pretty good range. With Raven Guard, I can strike from the shadows to get in a few places closer if I need to, hopefully. So I don't know, we'll see how that goes. And I'm still toying with it, but I'm pretty sure that I'm at 1,500 points I'm gonna bring the Astraeus. I gotta look again. I don't remember if it says you can't bring super heavies or not, because it is classified as a super heavy. But if not, I'm probably gonna bring it. It's gonna be a huge point sink. I think it's like 750 once you get all the weapon upgrades and stuff, or something up there like that. Maybe 705. It's 7 something. Because at base it's like 500. So it's probably not that efficient of a point thing. And worst case scenario, they focus everything on it and just either neuter it or take it out right away, and then there's like half my list. But otherwise I don't feel like I'll ever play it, so I'm just gonna bring it and go for it and see how it goes. And who knows, maybe it'll be like super OP, but I really don't. At least in most of my testing roles and things I've tried out, it's not like the best thing in the world. However, that was just kind of like test rolling and kind of like it versus another vehicle that's toughness 8. Like a Land Raider, basically, is kind of what I was testing it against. So it's kind of a little skewed that way because I didn't factor in the rest of the army that I would be taking and the support that they would provide, and they would probably soften stuff down ideally before it comes in and starts messing things up. Um, yeah, so there's that. And then the other thing is, I don't know what the terrain is like at Nova. I know Adepticon is kind of scarce, and Las Vegas is a little more heavy on the terrain. So we'll see, because it is a big model. So if there's a ton of terrain, it might make maneuvering kind of hard, and getting a good line of sight with it, which could be another issue. Um, and if that's the case, then I might have to play less aggressively and kind of hold back and have them come to me, so I can, get them. Worst case is if the scenario is like an objective sitting type one, then I might be kind of screwed on that. So, but yeah, so there's that going on. Other thing is my attempt at coherent thought little segment. I've got a video that I did, it's been a good while now, and it's just been sitting. I've been kind of nervous to put it out because it's a very, I don't know if you could say controversial, I guess, but it's just a touchy subject, because it's something that, it's the whole idea of it started because something happened kind of locally, and so I didn't really want to post it because I don't want to make it, that situation kind of flare back up, or make it seem like maybe I was like really choosing one side or other. I kind of just stayed out of the situation. But basically, it's about whack players, or win at all costs players, or those players that you might come across that don't recognize they lack social skills, or they are always bending the rules or forgetting rules at convenient times, and just all that kind of stuff. So it's kind of very, I guess you could say, kind of controversial. I mean, we've all run into those types of players and stuff like that, and really, it's just kind of, what can you do about it, really, other than try to avoid them, and yeah, go from there, I guess. So I'll probably be putting that up before too long. Like I said, it's just kind of, I've been kind of waiting it out a little bit, really, in case anyone from my local area happens to watch it. So hopefully the whole situation's kind of died down, and it, I don't want the video to necessarily start anything. Well, I don't want it to start anything again, and hopefully that's not the point of the video. Is more or less just talking about, really, at the end of the day, it's a game, and if it's ruining your life that much, or if you're taking it so serious that other people don't want to play you, and therefore you're not getting any enjoyment out of your hobby because you don't want to accept that, because some people can't accept, like, constructive criticism, or just criticism at all. Because I would say this wasn't necessarily constructive the way it was presented to the individual. It was just straight up criticism, and they did not like it, nor did they want to accept it, because they've been in the hobby a very long time. Again, but I'm kind of going off on a tangent again, like I did in the video. I don't want to go too far into the tangent again, but it was just kind of unfortunate. But yeah, so I mean, at the end of the day, what are you gonna do other than you can just carry on, or maybe take some time off and cool off a little bit and come back. People, especially in the area I'm in, the player base is not super consistent. I would say constant, not consistent. It's not very constant. There's a few people that are, but just the dynamics and the demographics of the area, a lot of people move because of work and jobs pretty frequently, and so because of that, the player base changes significantly. And there's only two gaming stores. Both are about 40 minutes away from where I live, in opposite directions too. One to the north, one to the south. And the one to the north is very competitive, I would say. Like, the player base there is just, very competitive. Like, very rarely can you find somebody that will take the time to fully paint their army unless somebody else has painted it, or they bought it secondhand, because of the high power meta lists, tournament lists and stuff that come out. They're always buying the new greatest thing, it seems. Not everybody, but there's a good few that do that. So you're usually playing like gray armies, or just base coated armies, or whatever. And there are some that do a good effort at trying to get their stuff painted, but then before they're even able to paint it. Usually, there's one individual I know that usually will. He's gone through armies pretty quickly. Like, well, he'll turn around and sell the army before it's finished to buy the next new greatest thing. Which, whatever, if that's what people want to do. But then the other one to the south is definitely more, I would say, friendly oriented as far as the gaming side of things goes. And unfortunately, I haven't really been able to play a lot at either one. And I've actually usually, when I do play, it's when I travel to the Games Workshop store that is like 2.5 hours away. But usually I'm trying to go up there because there's an event or something going on there anyway, and so that's the closest Games Workshop we have, so that's where I have to go, and so I try to play there when I can, because all my time in between is usually work and family, or painting. So, that, and then I'm thinking about another new segment. I know I've got all these segments, but I want to keep putting out something, and that's because all these different segments, they're like, there's not necessarily enough material all the time to only do like 4 or 5 segments. I don't want to get too many segments that everyone's just like, when you come to the channel, you're like, what? I don't even know what to watch. But I do want to have enough content or something out there for people to enjoy. But this one's going to be definitely a lot different. And it's going to be more, I'm not sure what I want to call it. If anyone has a suggestion or comment, definitely put it on the Facebook page by this video, or on the YouTube, on this YouTube video page. But basically, it's going to be kind of like not quite attempts at coherent thought, but along those same lines of just an open dialogue, where I'll talk about a new topic of anything, usually more my other hobby, geekdom, nerddom, if you will, type of thing. Those things being, I guess, sort of video games. I haven't played video games as much as I would like to or have in the past, mostly because I've transitioned to the tabletop hobby more. So really, when it comes to video games, the only things I really get down to playing are like Halo is a huge one for me, and then like I've killed time every now and again with this Star Wars Battlefront. I have both 1 and 2, but more recently the second one that came out, and just some other games here and there as they come out. But probably my other pretty huge hobby of mine is going to movies. I love movies. I love seeing movies, watching them, and all that. So probably a lot of that will also be kind of just discussion and movie review type thing. So definitely, when those ones come up, when it's a movie one, it will have spoilers, because I'll have probably just seen the movie and talked about it. And really what this is bringing up is I just saw Deadpool 2, and I just saw it yesterday, opening night, Thursday. And I kind of have a lot of opinions about it. To quick share, a lot of my opinions on it is it was entertaining. I felt like I would have enjoyed it more had I not gone to it on opening night, just because of, with all the people there, the movie was funny, but it wasn't that funny. At least it wasn't as funny as a lot of the people in the audience were making it seem. And it sounds to me very, I guess, narcissistic or self-absorbed, or you want to say, to think that I have a higher intelligence than the other people in the audience. But it was very low-hanging fruit as far as the jokes go. It was very lowbrow. A lot of puns and pop culture references, much like the first one. But the first one I enjoyed more because it was new, it was fresh, it wasn't so overdone. And the reason why I say overdone is because now we have Guardians of the Galaxy came out before the first Deadpool, but that was kind of fresh still then. So like, they didn't go as hard into the paint into the pop culture and the puns and things as Deadpool did, but they definitely brought it in there, and that kind of started that whole new, like, oh, people really like this and really respond to this. So the Deadpool came out, and of course you had the rated R part of it, and all the swearing and the gratuitous violence and all of that again, people were like, wow, this is another step away. But then the comedy aspect into it too, and the breaking of the fourth wall that always happens in Deadpool. So that was new as well. And then we had another Guardians of the Galaxy. We had Thor Ragnarok, which was very Guardians of the Galaxy-esque. I would find it hard for people not to say that it wasn't influenced by those as well. Then the Avengers Infinity War, again, not the whole movie, but definitely Guardians of the Galaxy were, they were in there. And then they end up meeting up with Thor in part of it, and the interaction with Thor and them and all that was, again, kind of that kind of comical stuff. It worked. I liked it in Avengers. And then we come to Deadpool 2, and at this point, like, it's not, maybe a hint of superhero fatigue, but not quite, because it's definitely a different movie. But it really felt like a running fart joke. Not that they made fart jokes, but that's just kind of like the quality of it that I felt was kind of like, ugh. I will say, though, the best part of it, and probably the most humorous part for me, was the end credit scenes. Now, there isn't a scene at the very end, like after the very last credits. There's only the part after, like, the initial credit and all that stuff. That sequence was pretty hilarious, and I thought was very well done, and right in line with the character and stuff. But again, it was, like I said, it was enjoyable. I definitely enjoyed myself. But yeah, I've kind of already done the review in this status report. But that's the kind of thing I'm talking about. Like, I'm very passionate about movies. I did at one point. It's been probably like 4 years, or no, more than that. It's before I was even married. It's probably been 6, 7 years. I did have a movie review blog that I did, and I would actually go to movies, review them, as well as the theater I would go to, because that's another huge thing I like to do, is try out new theaters and new venues when I can. And so I would review if it was a new theater I hadn't been to, I'd review it. And then sometimes if they made changes and stuff, I would re-review that same theater and then the movie. So it's definitely a passion of mine that I have, and I would definitely like to get back to doing that somewhat, and at least doing a video format versus like a written blog again. I can get things out a little bit faster. It's not as time consuming as typing and writing, because that can be very time consuming. And a video is pretty easy and quick enough to sit down, blot thing real quick, load it, quick edits, throw it up, and hopefully have a decent enough product that people enjoy. But yeah, so I definitely will probably be doing that. I'm not sure what I'm going to call it yet, though. But yeah, I definitely look forward to that. And on top of that, Star Wars story, solo Star Wars story is coming out soon. I'm very excited about that, because I really think these Star Wars stories movies so far, and the previews could be whatever, but Ron Howard took the helm of this one, so I'm pretty excited. And I really feel like Rogue One, I loved Rogue One. Oh man, it's that Darth Vader scene at the end was amazing. It's like finally we get to see like what everybody is shaking their boots all the time about. Anyway, but I feel like they're outperforming the new saga movies by far. Especially, I mean, we all know about Last Jedi. I won't even go into that right now. But yeah, and then The Force Awakens was, again, entertaining, a lot of nostalgia, a lot of recycled ideas, and it wasn't horrible, but again, well, it is what it is. But yeah, so, alright, I guess that's it for now. This is kind of, again, like I always think they're going to be short little status reports, and they always end kind of dragging out, because I just have so much to talk, and I'm very passionate about everything that's going on, and hopefully you're enjoying what I'm bringing forward as well. So, with all that being said, until next time.